Uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
Hey guys, welcome back to The Bald Critic. Buckle up, because today we're diving into Joker 2. And believe me, this one's nothing like you're expecting. Remember the gritty, grounded vibe of the first Joker? The raw, unsettling portrayal of Arthur Fleck's descent into madness, grounded in the grime and chaos of Gotham City, gave us a deeply disturbing character study that felt almost too real. Well, forget that. Todd Phillips decided to turn this sequel into something completely different. A musical. The oppressive, haunting atmosphere of the original is swapped for a bizarre mix of psychological drama and lavish musical numbers. It's almost like Phillips is intentionally pulling the rug out from under us, creating a film that barely feels like a sequel. The dark, brooding streets of Gotham are still there, but they feel more surreal, serving as a backdrop for Arthur and Harley Quinn's strange, chaotic journey into their own delusions, all set to song and dance. If you're expecting a straightforward continuation of Arthur's story, this might catch you off guard. First off, this isn't a sequel in the traditional sense. Sure, we're still following Arthur Fleck, but the movie feels less like a continuation of his story and more like an exploration of his fractured mind. Todd Phillips seems to be less interested in expanding the world or escalating the conflict, and more focused on the psychological turmoil brewing inside Arthur. It's almost as if Phillips wanted to use the Joker name to tell a completely different kind of story. A courtroom drama with musical numbers, of all things. What was initially portrayed as a grim exploration of mental illness has now morphed into a strange, almost operatic experience, complete with song and dance routines that break up the narrative in unpredictable ways. Phoenix, as expected, is phenomenal. He fully commits to this weird musical format, and while the singing isn't his strong suit, his acting more than makes up for it. He's brilliant in showing us the darker, more fragile sides of the Joker, and the film does an incredible job of peeling back the layers of his mind. But let's be real, Lady Gaga steals the show. Her performance as Harley Quinn, though miles away from the comics, adds something fresh and exciting. When I heard about hiring Lady Gaga to play Harley Quinn, I was concerned she would steal all the attention that the main character deserves. And don't worry, for those of you concerned that she would overshadow Phoenix's Joker, that doesn't happen. She's in the spotlight during the musical numbers, but the story remains focused on Arthur's mind. Now, Harley Quinn, where do I even start? If you're expecting anything close to the comic book version, you're going to be disappointed. This Harley is a far cry from the character we know and love. She's almost unrecognizable compared to Margot Robbie's portrayal. Some of you may love this interpretation, while others, not so much. The music, though, I gotta admit, it's pretty damn good. The big musical numbers are spectacular, and if you're a fan of Lady Gaga, you'll probably enjoy them. But here's the thing, it feels unnecessary. The movie is trying to be a sequel, a psychological thriller, and a musical all at once. The tone is all over the place, making it feel less like a Joker sequel and more like an experimental art piece. Without giving anything away, the ending, well, let's just say it's going to be divisive. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but trust me when I say it's unexpected. I'll be making another video talking more specific about how the story ends, because it's definitely going to be the main talking point for a lot of fans. In the end, it's hard not to feel like this sequel was unnecessary. The first movie was a masterpiece that didn't need a follow-up. This feels more like Todd Phillips saying, "I'll make what I want," rather than something the fans asked for. So, if you're going into this expecting a traditional sequel, you might want to manage your expectations. Joker 2 is bold, it's weird, and it's definitely going to split audiences. But for me, I'm not sure it was worth the trip back to Gotham. In the end, it's hard not to feel like this sequel was unnecessary. The first Joker was self-contained, a gritty, raw portrayal of Arthur Fleck's descent into madness that didn't leave much room or need for a follow-up. It worked because it was a standalone character study, something so rare in modern comic book films that it felt revolutionary. The ambiguous ending gave us enough to chew on without spoon-feeding us a continuation. But then, the film raked in over $1 billion at the box office. And as much as studios like to claim they're focused on artistic integrity, that kind of financial success almost always guarantees a sequel, whether it's needed or not. So it's bold, sure, but it also feels like a risk purely for the sake of being different, not because the story demanded it. So if you're going into this expecting the grounded realism of the first movie, or even a conventional continuation of Arthur's journey, you might want to manage your expectations. Joker 2 is bold, it's weird, and it's definitely going to split audiences. But for me, I'm not sure it was worth revisiting Gotham just for this. That's all for now. If you want a spoiler-filled deep dive into that wild ending, stay stay tuned for my next video. And as always, hit that like button if you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe for more brutally honest reviews. Catch you next time on The Bald Critic.